Hey guys, welcome to Two Guys and a Mouse, the show that gives you all the Disney news, tips, and tricks to get you the most out of your Disney vacation. I'm Lance, and we're here with Les, and today we brought our kids along so that we can give our viewers the perspective of our children and give the viewers' kids some Disney tips and tricks of their own, and all of that is coming up next. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So for most people, when you say Disney or Walt Disney World, the first thing that comes to their mind is not two grown men acting like children. For most people, they think of actual children running around the parks. So with that being said, on today's episode, we brought our kids along. So we've got Yoshi and Sean, and today we're going to have them give some of their views so that they can give our viewers some of their tips and tricks. Before we get too far into the video, I'd like to say if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing and turning notifications on so that you know whenever we release new content. Also, if you like this video, please like and share it with your friends. It'll really help out the channel. So, we're going to start out with Yoshi. Now, Yoshi, you're 11 years old, but we started taking Yoshi in 2015 to the parks. And he's stayed at Pop Century, Caribbean Beach, Wilderness Lodge, and we typically go every year because we're Disney Vacation Club members now. So with that being said, Yoshi, welcome to the channel. So what's your favorite part of a Disney vacation, and what's the most exciting part for you?
Probably the Hollywood Studios days.
The what days?
Hollywood Studios we go to.
Hollywood Studios days? You like Hollywood Studios?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you stayed at you stayed at Pop Century, Caribbean Beach, and Wilderness Lodge. Which one is your favorite resort?
Probably Wilderness Lodge because there's like 2 pools and it's just nice.
Okay. So what did you like most about the Wilderness Lodge?
Probably the pool.
Okay. So what kinds of things are there for kids to do at the Wilderness Lodge?
There's a light show on the water. So there's like these floats that have lights on it and they go through the water and we can watch that. And then, like I said, you can go in the pools.
Well, can you describe the pools to the kids so that they know what they're getting into?
One of them is like, has this water slide, and then one has a water slide, and then the other one is just like
the quiet pool?
Yeah, there's like a quiet pool, and then one with like all the people in it.
And you said Hollywood Studios days are your favorite days. Is that your favorite park?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, what's your favorite ride at Hollywood Studios?
Probably Star Tours.
Okay. And what else do you like about the park?
I really like Galaxy's Edge and probably the Toy Story land or something.
Cool. And as far as Hollywood Studios snacks and stuff, what's your favorite snack at Hollywood Studios?
Probably either popcorn or the chocolate Mickeys.
Cool. So you've been going to Disney since 2015, and we've taken a bunch of different ways to get there. You know, we've driven, we've flown, and we've taken the auto train. Can you tell some of the kids out there which is your favorite way to get down to Disney?
I like the auto train because you don't have to worry about flying and driving just takes too long. So you just have to drive to the train station and then it just takes you to like Florida or.
Cool. Now, there's some kids who haven't flown before. Do you think maybe you could give some of those kids some tips and tricks about flying for their first time?
I mean, there's really nothing to be scared of. Just when I think you're landing, if you can, like, chew gum to stop your ears from, like, popping. And just...
What about security? Not so scary, right?
Yeah, they really, if you just follow everything and, like, do what they say, it's really easy.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you, Yoshi. We appreciate you coming out on the channel and giving some of the 6 to 13-year-olds some tips and tricks of their own so that they can get excited about their Disney vacation. So I'm going to turn it over to Les. Les is going to introduce his son and give us a little bit of background there. So to you, Les.
I'm here with my son, Sean, and a little history about Sean. As a family, we took our first trip to Walt Disney World in 2011, so that was Sean's first time going. And Sean has been there several times since, usually on like an every other year kind of vacation schedule at Walt Disney World. All those trips, we've stayed at pretty much the Polynesian every single time, but on our most recent trip in October of last year, we actually stayed in an off-site property rental, which was a big house, a 6-bedroom house with a pool. Totally different experience than it is staying on property. So based on all that information, Sean, why don't you give our viewers who are your age, mid-teens, some insight into on-site versus off-site. Which one do you prefer and why? And then in regards to the Polynesian, what do you like the most about the Polynesian and staying off-site? What did you like the most about staying off-site?
So between favorites, I would have to pick off-site since, there's just a lot more to do, since you're not just almost restricted to the Disney property. So last trip we went, me and a few family members actually went and did an escape room, which was very fun. So there's just a lot more open to you throughout the public than just, obviously, just Disney property. My favorite thing about staying in the Polynesian, since I've done that years ago, it was obviously geared a little bit more towards kids, since it's just got a lot of shops for stuff that kids might want to buy. It's got a water park. That was very fun last time I went. And the pool and the water park, it's obviously a little bit geared more towards kids, so that's why I found it so fun when I went. Favorite thing about staying off-site, like I said, you're open to do more. You've got more opportunity of what you want to do, and the escape room, that was very fun, and we completed that, and that's pretty much what I have to say.
All right, so we'll keep in line with what Yoshi covered earlier. So we'll move on to favorite park. And so, Sean, what is your favorite park? And then at that park, what is your favorite ride in general? It doesn't have to specifically be in that park. What else do you like about the park? And is there like a favorite non-ride attraction that you have in that park?
My favorite park, I would say it has to be Hollywood Studios. It's very entertaining. It's geared towards a lot of movies that everyone loves, and they have a bunch of rides for those rides that you love. My favorite ride would be the Rock and Roller Coaster in Hollywood Studios. I love music. I love Aerosmith, and I just believe that that's a very fun ride personally for me. Very fast, very high energy and entertaining. My favorite non-ride attraction would have to be the Muppets, like the Muppet Show. It just takes you through this whole cinema experience of watching the Muppets make a movie and all kinds of stuff geared towards that. So I just really love that, especially since I grew up on the Muppet Show, and that's something that I watched a lot of. So those would be my favorites, I would say.
Yeah, I love Muppet 3D Vision too, and I think it's kind of a shame that in Hollywood studios, they've kind of really reduced the amount of Muppet interaction or shows that you have. The last few times that we've been there, the store that is outside of Muppet 3D Vision has actually been closed. I'm not sure if it's due to COVID or what the story is, but you can't even get your your Muppet merchandise fix when you go there, which is a little disappointing. But all right, so moving on to the last category, favorite way to get there. So we've never taken the auto train, but we have flown, and typically we drive. So for a teenager, Sean, what do you think is probably the best method of getting down there in your opinion? Why did you choose that choice? And out of all the trips that we've taken down to Walt Disney World that you've been on, which one was your favorite and why?
Obviously, flying is quicker, and it's just, a speedy way to get down there. So if you don't want to wait, that's the way to choose. But what I would personally choose driving, because, I love making the memories and, eating food at different states or just going to different stops along the way. Even if you don't notice much, it's definitely just an experience. I did not drive down with my parents this past time. I went with my aunt, uncle, and cousin. So I slept a lot of the way, but I did have fun. I had a few different meals in a few different states. We stayed at a hotel. That was very fun. And my favorite driving trip, I would say, is the one in 2016, I believe. We went to... we were on our way down to Florida, and we actually stopped at Cocoa Beach. We went to a restaurant. The older kids, which I was not a part of, went to an escape room then. But, we went to the beach. We went to the beach in the morning before we took off. And then, we made our way down to Disney. And I just think it was a very fun-filled trip instead of just trying to, force our way through making it down to Disney. I think it was very fun, and it wasn't a bland trip. So that would be my most favorite trip.
Yeah, that was a good trip. So typically when we drive down to Disney, we drive straight through and we try and power through as fast as we can, typically getting down there in about 16 hours. But on that particular trip that Sean just referred to, we actually took our time. We left on a Friday, and we didn't actually get to Disney property until the following Monday. So we literally took our time. We stopped in South Carolina. We went to Cocoa Beach. The kids got to go to the beach, and then the next day we left Cocoa Beach, went straight to Disney Springs, walked around there, had a hotel room at a Holiday Inn off property, and then woke up Monday morning, and then we went right to the park and then checked into our room later that Monday. So we took our time getting down there, but it was actually a very relaxing trip. We weren't powering through. We took our time, enjoyed ourselves. So yeah, that was probably one of my favorite, or was my favorite driving trip so far as well. So that wraps it up for Sean. I'm going to turn it back over to Lance.
Thanks, Les. So I also have a 2-year-old that we take to Disney with us. And I'm going to give you the viewers a couple of tips on traveling with a toddler or 2-year-old or someone less than 5. So when you are traveling with a young child, bear in mind that at Disney, entrance or admittance to the theme parks for anyone under the age of 3 is completely 100% free. So while they are on your Disney vacation package and on your itinerary, they'll get a Magic Band. It actually doesn't cost them anything. Likewise, if you are dining at a prefix menu restaurant, the children under 3 eat free, and they just eat off of the adults' plates. So a couple of tips for our viewers out there with young children: bring a stroller with you. They're free to check on an airline. If you're driving, it's no problem. You just put it in your trunk. I always recommend having a jogging stroller, especially if you're going to be vacationing with a group of people or multiple people, right? So with a jogging stroller, you have the advantage of it's big, it's stable, you can fit all of your stuff in the bottom. It's going to be more comfortable for the kid. They can take a nap while they're at the parks, and you don't necessarily have to come back to the hotel to take a break. It's comfortable enough for the children to be able to take a nap in the jogging stroller. Likewise, you can stash all of your gear in the jogging stroller when you guys get on a ride or an attraction. And if the child does want to walk, you could put all of the gear in the jogging stroller. You can carry the child. You don't have to worry about fumbling with a backpack or a bag or anything like that. It all can fit in the jogging stroller. It's very convenient. The only downside to the jogging stroller approach is that they are big, they are bulky, it does take up room, and you do have to be able to fold it up to get on the Disney transportation. Which leads me to my next thing. If you are traveling light, go with a stick or an umbrella stroller. Go with a light stroller that can be easily deployed with one hand by one parent. We have a stroller that actually folds down into the size of a laptop, and it's very small. You can one hand carry it. You can deploy it simply by unfolding it. Likewise, it stows by simply just pushing down and folding it onto itself. So very easy, very convenient. And I recommend, and I'll put the link to the stroller in the description below as well. And another thing that you want to bear in mind when you do have little children that are not potty trained, Disney does offer a plethora of baby changing stations. They're in every bathroom, but they're also baby comfort stations, one at each park. And they offer amenities like an air-conditioned place for your child to take a break. They offer formula, baby food. It's completely stocked. There is a lactation station, so you can either pump or feed in these comfort stations. They're very nice. Again, you can find more about that on the Disney website. Please make sure you check for, obviously, location and availability before you go. Another thing that I always recommend for young children, even the older children who are under the age of 15, are bubble wands. They are a fantastic investment for your money. They're not very expensive, and they will keep your children entertained while you're in line, waiting for either a dinner reservation or a ride or a show experience. They are wonderful. Pro tip: bring with you or purchase an extra set of batteries for the bubble wands. Trust me, you will thank me later. And with that, guys, there's so many more tips and tricks that we could provide you that we just can't fit into one episode. But please make sure that you guys are subscribed so that you know whenever we release new content and a follow-up episode to this. And also, in the comments below, please let us know of any of your tips or tricks for traveling with young children. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Les.
Yeah, so in this episode, we've gone over a few different age groups, from toddler all the way up to teenager. And Sean's been going since he's been 5, so he's gone enough times that he's kind of experienced it all. And, we tried to give you some ideas of things to look for, things to do. The kids tried to give some tips and tricks. So, but every family is going to be different, right? So, and individuals within a family are going to be different. So do what is best for you. We're just trying to give you some helpful hints and tips here. But you got to do what works for you. And then the other thing I'll say is, identify some things that work for you and your family, and maybe even turn them into traditions. We talked about that on our last episode, was traditions that Lance's family and my family have. And then it makes the trip more enjoyable too. So that's about everything that I have today. Lance, do you have any last minute thoughts before we wrap it up?
Yeah, just one last thing real quick. Guys, if you are just starting out with Disney vacationing and you do have any questions, we are on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. You can also message us on the back end of our channel by leaving a comment. But reach out to us. We would be more than happy to share any other tips or tricks, or even point you in the right direction to get you started with planning a Disney vacation, or, getting some help with, some things that you would like to do on your Disney vacation. But again, follow us on social media. Please subscribe to the channel, and, Guys, we appreciate you coming out and hanging out with us today. And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
See you, everybody.